Hey guys, it's Jeff Farina with Pocketnow.com. It is time to give you our final thoughts on the Sony Ericsson X10 Mini. You've seen our coverage this far, let's go ahead and wrap things up. First off, we're going to touch on a few of the positives of the Sony Ericsson X10 Mini device. One of the great things about this phone is actually the form factor. It's a very small form factor, so if you're into using a small device, something that you can barely feel in your pocket, this device is going to be for you. On top of that, because it is so small, Sony has actually customized the user interface to fit one-handed operation. Sony has taken that design a step further by including a snap-on type skin. It is actually the back battery cover of the phone. They're going to give you the default black, which is already on the device, as well as 3 other colors, and that really goes a long way. That allows the user to personalize their device, gives them a different taste on things. It really makes your phone unique to you, whereas having to walk around with the default black or the gray, typical colors you would see. Instead, you can now change the color. Another thing with this phone is, despite the fact that it has a very, very small screen, the typical applications such as YouTube, Twitter, the Facebooks, the web browser, they're all there. You don't sacrifice on that sense, so you can still get done what you need to get done. You can still send out an email if need be. You can watch a YouTube video, post a Twitter update, so on and so forth. Another great feature that you don't miss out on despite the small size of this device is actually a 5-megapixel camera with the ability to record video. Now, it is a very tiny phone, as I've mentioned numerous times. However, you still can take pictures with the hardware camera button, so it is almost like having an independent camera in your pocket. However, everything is now converged into one very small device. The speaker on this phone itself is extremely loud, so when you're using a speakerphone call, you can hear your caller without an issue at all. And if you're watching a video or listening to music, it works great. Another cool thing about this device is it does have the FM radio capability, so if you do listen to the FM radio at all, pop on the Sony headphones and you can listen right to your favorite radio station. Now, getting into some of the cons of the device, or what needs work, the 2.5 screen can really take away from the user experience. If you're after a very small screen, then that's fine. However, if you're used to sending a lot of emails and a lot of text messages that are at long length, the fact that you lose out on a full QWERTY keyboard because of the size of the screen really makes me feel like I'm missing a piece here. It makes it tough to send out an entire email or a long text message. Sony is releasing an X10 Mini Pro version, which actually has a slide-out QWERTY keyboard, which will make this device much easier in that sense. However, if you're not used to sending out emails, or you just send out quick text messages here and there, this is perfect for you. Another downside is the fact that this device uses Android 1.6. Some of the applications are not compatible with 1.6 anymore, unfortunately, such as the official Twitter application. You have to be on at least Android 2.0 to use that application, so you will miss out on some of the newer apps as they become available, or until Sony decides that they want to upgrade this device itself. Unfortunately, the talk time on the Sony Ericsson X10 Mini is only rated at 3.5 hours. If you do a lot of talking on the phone, the battery is not going to last you a whole day. Other phones like the Samsung Galaxy S are rated at around 5 to 6 hours, so you can kind of do a comparison there as far as what you're going to be missing out on with this device there. Staying on the topic of the battery, whether or not you may consider this to be a pro or a con, the battery is non-removable. Now, I know phones like the iPhone have had a lot of problems and a lot of attention to that department because the battery is not removable. So if that's not a problem for you, fine. If it is, this may turn you away. The fact that the phone is so small, part of that is due to the very fact that you cannot take the battery out. Another downside, and I'm not sure why this may be a hardware issue or a software issue for that matter, is that you can only actually upgrade the micro SD card to a 16 gigabyte. This device is not capable of reading any higher than that. Now, that may be able to be patched with a software update. However, I'm not 100% sure. So if you're thinking about getting the Sony Ericsson X10, really think about that. If you plan on using any more than 32 gigs of data, this is not going to use that. Most phones, most people for that matter, don't on their phones. But if you are, that may not be right for you. Rounding everything off, I do have to say that most of your staples are going to be here. You're going to have your Wi-Fi, you're going to have your GPS and your Bluetooth. And once again, you're going to have support for your mainstream applications that you may be finding yourself using on a daily basis. All in all, this is actually a very nice phone. If you're looking for a small form factor of a phone, this phone may be for you. Just keep in mind some of the shortcomings that it may have in terms of the software and the hardware. The custom user interface that Sony does include with this phone really makes this device much easier to use, much easier to navigate, and it's much easier to fire off a very quick text message with the typical multi-tap keyboard, regardless of the fact that you do not have the full QWERTY. Coming in at about only $325 US, Sony has really made this device affordable to the masses. If it's something that interests you, you can go ahead and pick it up over at clove.co. Last but not least, check out the full written review with more in-depth coverage, as well as all of the other videos in this segment over at Pocketnow.com. You'll see them over in one long posting titled the X10 Mini Review. Thanks for watching, everyone, as always, and please give us a thumbs up if you like our videos.